With that down, let's move on to our third main topic today. And our third main topic today gets sent in to us by Jared B. from the 203, who writes, after hearing about all the talent in front and behind the camera for the new Batman movie, do you think it is likely that Warner Brothers is using the same approach as Joker, an artistic and low-budget movie seeking awards instead of big budget and CGI? Is it likely they will do this with more of their comic book movies moving forward? All right. Thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And it's an interesting question because, when you look at this new Matt Reeves Batman thing that they've been putting together, right? When you look at the whole thing, it started with after the tremendously unfortunate departure of Ben Affleck, because I wanted to see a Ben Affleck directed Batman film, but whatever, he's not there. So once we move past that, starting with the attachment of Matt Reeves, that got a lot of us excited. I still would have rather had Ben Affleck, but hey, if it's not going to be Ben, Matt Reeves is a terrific guy to do it. And that got a lot of people excited. And then 35 years passed before we heard any more news about the Batman film. Then they started announcing the cast. And the cast, especially embodied by who they cast as their lead, Robert Pattinson. What all of their casting, and then you look at the cinematographer, you look at all this kind of stuff. When you look at the casting specifically, though, one of the things that's really impressed me about this particular movie and this project was the fact that they are clearly not going for big flashy name, because Robert Pattinson's a famous name, but there's still a lot of the Twilight stigma attached to him and all that kind of stuff, right? Filmmakers know he's one of the best actors in the world right now. Filmmakers know that. And what all these castings, including, Zoe Kravitz and all the way down the line, what this has told me is that right now, what they are most concerned about with this movie is quality. They are most concerned about quality and talent and making the best movie they can without necessarily needing to be the big flashy names, the big things that are going to catch all the headlines, although the Robert Pattinson casting certainly did capture headlines, but a lot of them were for all the wrong reasons. And it told me, Rob, that they were really going for high quality, high level stuff, both behind and in front of the camera. And that really impressed me. Now, when you look at a movie like Joker, I mean, yes, Joaquin Phoenix was the big sexy name, but everything about the DNA of that movie just really more screamed cinematic prestige film. It didn't scream comic book movie. It screamed cinematic prestige film. And I'll tell you why this question is really interesting to me, because I have been told, and believe me, this is no exclusive. There's a lot of your favorite film pundits have been told this too. We just haven't really, I don't think many people have been talking about it. So this isn't exclusive to me. A lot of people have been told this, but what I have been told by people close to the situation is that this movie is not going the traditional comic book movie route. Now, there have been other films that have come out in recent years, Rob, that we've talked a lot about that have also not gone the traditional comic book route, whether it's Logan, obviously New Mutants is one that's not going the traditional comic route. Not going the traditional comic book movie route could mean a lot of different things. It could mean a lot of different things. But what I was told specifically was that this movie is going to more look similar to a Joker film that we just got than it will be to the traditional DCEU film. Not that that's a negative commentary on the DCEU films whatsoever, but it's just, that's what I've been told, is that they're really going more that way. And I think that's going to resonate with some people, Rob, because a lot of people have been like really screaming out, yeah, we love the big action of Batman flying around, but we also want the detective. We want the world's greatest detective. We want, the psychology of the Batman. I was flipping through YouTube the other day, and I don't know why this came up in my recommended list, but there's this clip from one of the animated DC shows, and it's Batman and Wonder Woman on a roof. And Wonder Woman's basically flirting with Batman and saying, hey, why don't we date? Like, why don't you go out? Why don't we do this? And he's like, I'm a guy in a mask with issues. Lots of issues. And it just reminded me yes, that's really a part of Batman that we haven't really delved into. I thought Batman versus Superman did a pretty decent job of touching on that a little bit and going more into that. And of course, the real character is Batman and the mask is Bruce Wayne and all that kind of stuff. But I heard this, Rob, and I got to tell you, it excited me. The notion that this movie will be have more common DNA with the Joker movie than with the traditional DCEU movie. I think that's exciting when you understand the character. So yeah, as a matter of fact, I do think, Rob, that they're going to go more in that direction. Let me ask you that question though, Rob. Number one, with everything that we've seen, which way does it appear they're going to you, and which way ultimately do you think they should be going with this?
Well, we were talking yesterday, and I was saying that we don't know which direction the Batman movie is going to go in. Is it going to be the Anton Furst production design Gotham that's clearly a fantasy Gotham, or is it going to go more the traditional Christopher Nolan route? And from what we've seen, I think that they're going to ground this movie. I think it might be grounded differently than the Nolan movies are, which there was a naturalism, and this is happening in a real American city. I think this is going to be somewhere in between the Tim Burton Gotham City that was completely stylized and overproduction designed by Anton Furst, but I loved it. And I think it is going to be a slightly more heightened, and maybe more expressionistic or impressionistic than the Nolan Batman is, because I think Matt Reeves is going to want to forge his own identity in terms of what he's going to have to. He's going to have to give us something that isn't one or the other. He's got to create something new. And if this is indeed a period Batman, I think that we're going to be getting something. I don't know. I want to see something that's like a Neil Adams drawing from the Batman of the 70s. Not necessarily it has to be set in the 70s, but that feel, that and more of a classical noir crime thriller kind of a thing that takes place in sort of a slightly heightened reality. I'm hoping to get something like that, and it looks like we might. I mean, the addition of there's more than one villain. There's going to be a lot of stuff happening. If Arkham Asylum plays a big part of it, I don't know, but for whatever reason, Matt Reeves has become a world-class filmmaker. He totally understands how to use VFX. I think whatever we're going to get is going to be, I think, something special, because Matt Reeves has certainly had enough time to develop his screenplay. And that's always the basis. That's always the basis of a great film. And I think whatever we're getting, the choices, like you pointed out, are in terms of casting, have been terrific. And everything I hear about this movie just keeps getting better and better. So I'm of the opinion that whatever it is we're going to get, it's going to be something new. It's going to be something fresh. It's going to be a new modern vision of Batman that also has a classical bent to it. I mean, classical storytelling, maybe a classical feel that, because he's going that way, is going to feel new and fresh today. So I'm stoked about this one too. I'm very excited what's coming down the pike for us film lovers, because between Dune and Mechagodzilla and Matt Reeves' Batman, I see only a juicy goodness on the inside coming from these movies, John.
Well, listen, and I wanted to ask you guys what you guys thought about all this. How would you feel about the direction of Batman? Which way do you think they're going to go? So I made that the topic of today's question of the day. So just before we started the show, I got on Twitter. I put up this little poll. The question of the day: do you think the new Batman movie should be more in line with the Joker style of film, or more in line with the traditional DCEU comic book style of film? And it's a little bit more one way, but we're relatively close. 62.2% of you guys are saying that you think this movie should go more Joker style. That's kind of how I'm feeling a little bit as well. But 37.8% of you guys are still thinking it should go a little bit more DCU style. Now, I have no doubt it's going to be a bit of blend of both, but I think it's going to lean more towards the Joker style. But again, 62.2% of you guys are saying you like the Joker style. 37.8% of you are saying you want it to go more the DCU style. What are they going to do? How's it actually all going to work out? We don't know, but we'll find out soon enough. Question is, guys, what do you think about that? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right.